There are so many people that are financially struggling right now, and they don't know how to get themselves out of the situation. Like, they didn't sign up for the situation on purpose necessarily, but it's like a really slippery slope when things start to become undone and you keep thinking to yourself, I can fix it, I can fix it, I can fix it, and it begins to spiral into a place where you like, how the hell did I get $45,000 in credit card debt? How is it possible that my life was perfectly fine a year ago or 2 years ago, and I was going on vacations with my kids, and now I can barely afford to put food in the refrigerator? These are real conversations that I'm having with people. And I want to do this video as a follow-up to offer some solutions. The last video that I did some incredible numbers, and in the video I was just talking about, you know, I can't make my mortgage payment, and there's a lot of people that's out here that can't make their mortgage payment. However, because I'm a person that is on the other side of things, I can offer some real insight. And I was basically saying, as I'm starting to see people mount up and start sharpening their pitchforks to start blaming loan officers and realtors, I was putting a different perspective. I wanted to say, hey, you the one that went out and bought a bunch of stuff that you probably shouldn't have bought because you didn't anticipate your life changing. Well, we passed that point, and here we are. We're in debt up to our eyebrows, $30, $40, $50, $60,000. We're still swiping the card, hoping, waiting for that next big check to come in, or hoping, waiting for the rates to fall so that we can refinance, and that day ain't came yet. So if you are someone that is a homeowner, if you are somebody that has a lot of equity, if you are somebody that has a lot of debt, this video is specifically for you because I want to offer you some solutions. So before you make any decisions at all, you got to evaluate a couple of things first. One, do I have enough debt that it feels like it's really truly insurmountable? And I'm not talking about $5,000. I'm talking about $30,000, $40,000, $50,000, $60,000, $70,000 of debt that you know good and well you ain't never gonna be able to pay off. The other thing that you have to do is evaluate, what's your credit position? Do I have good credit? Do I have bad credit? Do I have in the middle credit? Because again, this conversation is gonna be for people all the way down to a 500 credit score. And then the last thing that I think that you all should consider is, what is your income like? Are you struggling because there is no opportunity for you to make more money? And I'm not talking about like DoorDashing and Uber Eats. I'm talking about like making more money, like significantly. Like, can you increase your income, you know, $1,000, $2,000, $3,000 a month to be able to fix your situation where your debt to income ratio isn't to the point where you can't fill your refrigerator every month. So those are the three things that I think that you need to consider while you are listening to this. One of the biggest solutions that I'm seeing people do, in my personal opinion, and you know, don't nobody pay me for my opinion, but I'm gonna give it to you anyway, is people are doing a lot of this like debt relief. They're going online, they're finding these companies, like when you type in, I'm struggling in life, I'm struggling to make my bills, I'm struggling in credit card debt, like at the very top of the Google page, it'll have sponsored ads, and there'll be these debt consolidation companies that will say, hey, don't worry about it, we'll talk to the people on your behalf, you just pay us. And what they end up doing is allowing your stuff to go into a worse status, and then you end up paying them a whole bunch of money, $600, $700, $800 a month for however long, and you still end up with ridiculously bad credit. The very first solution that I would like to potentially offer you is, if you have a credit score that is above 500, and if you have a decent amount of equity in your home, you may want to look at doing a cash out refinance. Now, I know y'all gonna be like, but I just want to get an equity line of credit because I want to keep my 3.5% rate. Baby, people are trading that interest rate in every single day, and they're doing it with a smile. If you are somebody that can do this, meaning, and I'm going to give you a real example, okay? I'm not talking to you if you just bought your house in 2022 or in 2023 and you only have $40,000 of equity. I'm talking to someone that might have $40,000 in credit card debt and has $100,000 or $150,000 in equity between the time that they purchase their home and what the value of the house is today. That would be an ideal candidate to look at doing a cash out refinance. Yes, your payment for your mortgage will increase. Yes, your interest rate will increase. But I'm going to give you a really quick example. I had a lady, she has a $1,300 a month car payment. I know y'all want to know what kind of car it is, so I'm going to tell y'all. It's a Lexus. And I think the payment's like 72 months or something like that. Her and her husband make a ridiculous amount of money. So they have great money. They have a great amount of equity in their house. But I was talking to them about credit card debt and some other things. So I said, hey, you know, maybe you could take this $55,000 payment and roll it in to your house. Now, that's not always a good idea. I mean, to be totally honest, it's really seriously a case-by-case scenario. But I'm just using this as an example because we're not necessarily moving forward with it. But I want you to see the difference that it makes. So right now she got a $55,000 balance on her car payment. On her car loan. Her car payment is $1,300 a month. If she was to roll that in to her mortgage, that will only change her mortgage payment by $400 a month. Oh my God, that's wild, that's crazy. I would never do that. That means she paying for the car for 30 years. Yeah, maybe, possibly. But there was some further conversation along the way that said, hey, well, if you keep living your life the way that you're living it and you keep making the same amount of payments and you roll that into your car, roll that into your mortgage, you could pay off your house early. Also, we talked a little bit about possibly refinancing when rates come down. But this, I mean, that's really, honestly, that's how a cash out refinance works. A cash out refinance is basically you consolidating any other debts that you have into your mortgage payment. So you have just that one mortgage payment and you have that payment at a higher mortgage payment than you're paying on interest now. A higher interest rate on the mortgage than you have currently now, but you also not paying 30% on credit cards that you're not going to pay off anyway for 21, 22, 23, 24 years because you're only making a minimum mortgage payment. And quiet as it's kept, I look at credit reports every day. That's what y'all doing. Y'all making a minimum mortgage payment. And you kind of low-key lying to yourself saying, oh, I'm paying more. No, you're not. It feels like you're paying more, but you're really not. And I'm just, I mean, like I know how this go, and we're not going, let's call a spade, and let's deal in reality, okay? So when people are like, oh, well, I don't want to start my mortgage over again. Oh, I don't want to pay 30 years. You're paying 30 years on your credit cards. You're paying 8 years on your car, 9 years on your car, because these car payments go out to 96 months. So if you think about, oh my gosh, like I got $800 in car payments, I got $1,500 a month in my credit cards, making the minimum payments. I got this $400 a month personal loan that I was supposed to use to consolidate my debt, but then I didn't because when I got the money, I was like, oh, I could do this, and I completely didn't do the things I was supposed to do. It's a slippery slope, and you spiral. And you're trying to keep up, and then you start letting the mortgage payment go. Okay, I'll take this $2,000 I'm supposed to make on my mortgage payment, and I'll put it over here. And you robbing Peter to pay Paul, and something has to break. Before you miss your mortgage payment, please look into doing a cash out refinance. Like I said, at my company, which is, I'm gonna be honest with you, like this a plug, but it's not a plug. So like, but I'm not saying call me. We're one of the few companies that will allow something like that. Like for you to do a refinance on your house at 500 is like almost unheard of. So before you miss your mortgage payments, please look into doing a cash out refinance if you have the equity to be able to at least consolidate some, if not all of your debt. If a cash out refinance is not the solution for you at this time and you are still struggling to make your payments, regardless of your equity position, regardless of your debt to income ratio, you really should consider picking up the phone and calling your mortgage company. And the reason I'm saying this is because they have a lot of forbearance options that are available that nobody ever talks about. I actually had someone in the comments say, why don't y'all just do a forbearance? Like, what's up? What's going on? And I think it might be like one of the biggest openly known, most Googleable, available secrets that there is out there. This is not one of those scenarios where you can run the play and you could take advantage. And that honestly might be a reason why it's not so available. There's a lot of different outlets to help people get help with making the HOA payments if they're behind, or making the mortgage payment if they're a little bit behind. Your state got money back during COVID to help with this. Now, whether that's something that's still in play, I can't answer that. I looked on the North Carolina Housing Finance Agency's website to see if it was still listed. It is still listed for like mortgage relief or something along those lines, and I'll insert a picture to show you what I'm talking about. But it hadn't been updated since 2022, so I don't know if it's something that is still active. But every single state, all 50 states, got federal money that went to each state to help with people that were struggling to make their mortgage payments. So you need to check with your state housing finance agency, like Google Louisiana State Housing Finance Agency or whatever it is you live, and see if there's something on the website. So that's one outlet. If that doesn't work and you don't have any outlet there, call your mortgage company to talk about doing maybe a forbearance. Now, depending on the loan type you have a FHA loan, VA loan, USDA, or a conventional loan. The guidelines may be a little bit different in what they allow, but I'm gonna just straight up be honest with you. If you call them, even if you in like a pre-foreclosure status, if you call them and you talk to them, they're gonna find a way for you. They're gonna figure it out. They're gonna say, okay, so like, what, you need 3 months, you need 6 months, you need a year. Like, I mean, the conversation ain't gonna go quite like that, but you see what I'm saying, because there are people that haven't made mortgage payments in 2 years. I'm not making this up. There are people that haven't made mortgage payments in 2 years out of the last 4 years since COVID started. So again, I'm not saying like abandon your life because you are actually doing well and you can make your payments. What I'm saying is, if you are somebody, you've demonstrated already, the lenders see that you can't make your payment, okay? We can look at your credit report and we see that you don't make that payment until the 29th of the 30th day every month. We know, we can tell. So if you're kind of in that phase and it's like a slippery slope, you need to call your mortgage company. Call them before you're behind, let them know what's going on. Call them after you're behind to have a conversation and see, will they take your payments and put it on the back of the loan? Will they be willing to restructure your loan and give you a lower interest rate, even though it's not a refinance? Because that's what modifications are, where they stretch the term out to help give you a lower payment, and they may give you a lower interest rate to help you qualify. Now, I do not work on that side of things. So what I'm saying is not what I know in my day-to-day life and practice of what I do when I talk to people on the phone. I'm telling you because I promise you I know. I have talked to people. I have seen the credit reports. I know that there are different options that are out there that extended beyond COVID. I remember that first 12 months they said, oh, well, if you didn't file for your forbearance by such and such date, then you would only get this amount of time. I think maybe, I don't know, I might be lying, but I think maybe Congress or HUD or Fannie and Freddie was like, oh, shoot, like, we really could make life a lot easier for people if we kept this going. Not kept it going like everybody get a year of no mortgage payments, but kept it going like, oh, well, it probably would help people out a lot if they were just able to say, hey, I ain't got it, versus there we gotta like file all these papers, get attorneys, kick people out their house, pay them to leave. Because, I mean, when I had my foreclosure, they paid me to leave my house. That was in, like, I don't know, 2011 or something like that. But there's a lot more options that are out there now than there were 10 years ago. So to the crash bros, it's like, I can't wait for all these people to go into foreclosure. Y'all gotta chill with all that because it's not the same. So again, like I said, if you are somebody that was struggling with your life financially, please exhaust one, some, all of the things that I have just mentioned to you. Even if it's one of those debt relief programs and you already entered into it, child, I don't know what to tell you because I don't know anything about the debt relief people. I just know that it's not the best solution. Like, it really should not be on your top 3 things. I mean, I'm just saying, as just a widely known thing, but I can't speak intelligently about it in great detail, so I'm just gonna leave it there because it does not help your credit, and I think I said that earlier. But look for your state to see if they have anything to be able to help, if it's like a short-term situation. And if it's a little bit of a longer-term situation, call your mortgage servicer. The difference between 2024 and like the early 2000s, when it was a foreclosure crisis, is there's uniform standards, uniform guidelines. It's not like, oh, my loan servicer is ABC Bank versus my homegirl's loan servicer is XYZ mortgage company, and they got 2 different things going on. It's the same across the board. So if you are watching this and you are struggling, the answer is going to be the same for all y'all. Okay? Everybody. If you got this type of loan, these are the things that's going to be available. If you have this type of loan, these are the things that's going to be available. So foreclosure isn't something that is always imminent if you don't want it to be. And to me, my personal opinion, I've seen how much rent costs. If you are someone that purchased a home, prior to 2023, you need to be doing something, because you ain't gonna do nothing but make your life worse off if you think, oh, I'm gonna walk away from my $1,600 a month house payment. What you gonna do? Go and get $1,500 a month rent? That's gonna be $1,700 a month next year, and so on and so on and so on. Like, we have to think strategically about things. And then, I don't advise this, but if it really come down to it, maybe you need to talk to a bankruptcy attorney. I don't know anything at all about bankruptcy, but what I do know is bankruptcy allows you to wipe the slate clean, potentially, and start your life over. And sometimes that's the best thing for you to help you get a good night's sleep. Because I know for a fact, the disaster of a year I had last year, I was not sleeping well. And I got videos that talk about it, so the people in the comments, they want to be like, oh, wait till she get her. She out here talking all this. Yes, HIT, whatever. Y'all told me I was cussing too much on lesbian. But, for the people that's like, oh, she out here talking shit, whatever. No, I'm be talking from experience. And I don't lie or deceive or hide things from people. I'm a regular person. Just like y'all, I have struggles too. Like, the industry is not what it was a year ago. Well, yeah, it is. The industry is not what it was 4 years ago, 5 years ago. Things have shifted dramatically from the beginning of 2023 until now. It's crazy out there. So I'm just saying, like, you don't have to take my advice, but I recommend that you at least research some of the things that I said here, because it is truly in my heart to help you. I mean, like I said, I don't benefit anything by telling you to go and do all these things. So do the things, keep your house. Even if you don't get to keep the same rate, figure out something, because your health is the number 1 priority. The number 1 most important thing to you is your health. Working 4 and 5 jobs trying to make ends meet is not good for your health. Okay? Trying to stay up all night and you got your little notepad and you're like, okay, if I pay this and I can't pay it, okay, then I can get the kids. Ooh, I can't get the kids. You stress. Your heart hurts, honey. That's why you can't expand your lung capacity to take a real breath. You know what I'm saying? Your breath's real shallow. You can't breathe good. Do any of the things that I said, and I promise you, you will have the beginning of a good night's sleep and some solutions to your financial problems. So If anything went unanswered, please let me know down below. And one other thing, I did talk a little bit about life before the pandemic. I'm curious to know, how has life shifted for you since the pandemic to now? Because like I said, it shifted for me a whole lot, and it shifted for a lot of people because people are living off of their credit cards, seriously, and the debts are now insurmountable. So I'm just curious to know, what are your experiences? How is your life different today than it was before the pandemic started? Better, worse, about the same? What you struggling with? All that jazz. I'll meet y'all in the comments to converse with you. If you didn't like the video already, please make sure you like it. Please make sure you share this. Make sure you subscribe, because like I said, that last video was good to me, so I hope this one is just as good. I look forward to seeing y'all soon, or even on a live stream. I'll talk to y'all later. Thanks for watching. Bye.